Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Penapple and today I am building the strawberry cottage. So if you're interested in this build, you can download it off of the gallery. My origin ID is penappleYT. But yeah, I had so much fun building this little house and it didn't even take me that long, only 2.5 hours, which is pretty good for me. I guess maybe not if you consider the size of the build, like that's still pretty slow. But it is just a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom home and it costs about 64,500 simoleons, which isn't that expensive. Sorry if you could hear that in the background. There's a little ding, but yeah. I had the idea for this when I was at work. I had a spare moment. I was bored, and so I started sketching a little cottage. And one of my coworkers actually saw it and was like, "Wow, that looks really cute." And I liked it, and so I figured I would just build it again in The Sims, and it turned out pretty close to the sketch. It does also kind of remind me of my Bella starter home, just because it does have kind of a curved roof and this little section that like sticks up at the top, but I like it anyways, and it's not a starter this time, so it gave me a lot more leeway to actually like make it look super duper cute, not just like starter cute, but like cute. But yeah, here I'm trying to like deal with the little roof bits that are sticking out. So annoying. I really wish they didn't do that. I actually ended up closing off those spaces just because I hated that like little roof bit sticking out so much. Like I feel like some people wouldn't necessarily mind having it stick out like that, but I'm just kind of like, no, I can't do it. Nope. But yeah, I also, that little top part is not usable. I thought of making it, but it would be such a narrow room and the roofing would get in the way of the eyesight, and then the stairs would just take up like all of the downstairs. So I kind of did, decide against it. But I even actually planned out the floor plan for this build while I was working. Like I said, I had a lot of spare time that day. But yeah, so I have another one that I've been meaning to build. It's going to be like an eco one, and I'm still haven't built it yet, but I'm thinking about it. But before I forget, for my last video, a couple of you guys, or not the last one, the one before last, the Everlasting Estate, a lot of you guys, well, not a lot, 2 people said it was a bit too fast for you guys, so I tried to make sure that this one's a bit slower. Please let me know what you think. If you would like me to speed them down more, I can. I really only speed them up as fast as I do just because, one, it's hard for me to talk for as long as my builds are, and 2, people tend to not watch videos that are super long, and so I could also divide them up. But yeah, we will see. It's kind of just like this constant juggling act between how long you want your video to be, whether or not you want it to be in 2 parts, how long you want to talk, how long you think your audience will be comfortable watching, that sort of thing. So I didn't quite get it last video, but we'll see with this one. Since it wasn't too long, I did try and not slow it down as much. I don't know if I succeeded though, but we will see. But yeah, this is actually about where the exterior ends up. I do end up adding a little extra window at the bottom there just because the inside was a little dark. And so I kind of preferred how it looked with just 2 windows there. But I wanted it to be a little bit brighter in that room. But here I am trying to figure out the interior, and I thought of going, with this red tone to kind of match the exterior. But I just didn't really quite like it, and I wanted to keep those floors I had, and I thought maybe I could go more cool tone, hence the bedroom in the background that's kind of like blue. But then I really liked the checker pattern in the kitchen, and so I just decided to use that in varying shades around the house, and I like how that turned out. I just think it's so like cutesy and really cute, and I thought even though it wasn't like red, it still kind of fit the theme of the build. So yeah, I hope you guys like that one. I kind of took a little bit of a gamble on it. I also used that in my last build. I've been really into that sort of color. I've actually been really into this type of build, the sort of cottagey spring type build. I've really liked it. But yeah, here I've made the conscious decision to put the stove not in line with the cabinets, just because I've seen kind of those old stoves, they usually tend to sit apart from everything else, probably because they would heat up to 1,000 bajillion degrees and they probably burn anything that was next to them. Like, those things were not self-contained heat-wise, like not very well. Like, that's why they usually had stone built around them, is because it's literally just like, imagine like a pot on the stove. You know how when you boil pasta or something, the whole pot gets warm? That's what those are like. I don't know why I'm explaining this to you guys. You probably already knew that. Oh my goodness. I never know what people may or may not know. So sometimes I just kind of try and explain it, even though everybody probably already knows that already. But anyways, the interior of this just ended up a lot, I guess, classier than I thought it would. And I'm still not 100% sure if it fits this sort of cutesy exterior, but I kind of imagine this as being a grandmother's home and really just a home for one sim. And so I kind of imagine this like maybe like a little creaky old grandmother who's still kind of going strong, tending to her garden or her plants. Maybe her partner passed away like a while ago, so she's just kind of holding strong, holding her own, and just kind of enjoying life by herself. And she occasionally invites over her grandchildren or her friends or whatnot. And so usually I try and have at least 2 bedrooms in a place, but for this one I was just kind of content with having 1 bedroom. So I really like how that turned out, and I loved using that bed. I so wish we had that bed in more colors. Oh my gosh, I wish we had all the beds in more colors. And let's see, wow, I actually made it 7.5 minutes before complaining. I'm actually a little bit proud of myself. Yes. But yeah, I'm actually, I don't know why I suddenly jumped to this topic, but I've been getting into reading more a lot lately. That, and I've been listening to audiobooks, and so I really like that. And I actually read an entire book start to finish over the weekend last weekend, and the book had a terrible ending. Such a letdown, but I was really proud of myself for like reading an entire book. Like, it was probably like at least 400 pages, I think, about, and I just like demolished it like I used to when I was in high school, because once you get into college, it's just so hard to pick reading back up because you have to read so much for class, and it's just really exhausting. But I was just like really proud of myself that I read it, and I've been getting into audiobooks a bit more because I listen to them when I exercise, and I've been trying to exercise more, and so I actually have been trying to only listen to audiobooks when I exercise, but I've been caving with this one book I'm reading. It's called, actually no, I'm not going to say what it's called because I don't want any spoilers. Maybe I'll mention it next week, but I don't want any spoilers. But yeah, it's a really good book, and so I've been listening to it while I've also been building. Not this build, other builds, but I'm also going to try and continue to exercise to it, but I'm also trying not to like deprive myself of it because it's just such a fun book, and it's fun listening to audiobooks. But yeah, like there I put in those little shoe things, and I kind of imagine that those were her like children's shoes, or maybe her children long ago. But yeah, we're actually getting pretty close to the end of the exterior. I really like what I did here with the books, putting them against the wall. I've never really had an opportunity to do it quite like that, and I put like a little cutting board, and I end up putting a little plant there. It's supposed to be a wall plant, but I put it within the cabinet, so it kind of looked like it was just, like just sitting there. I thought that was fun. I really do like decorating kitchen counters. Sometimes I'm worried that I don't get creative enough with it because I use a lot of the same objects over and over again, but but yeah, so the exterior of this house, I knew I wanted it to be cute, but it really like just kind of evolved over time. Like my initial sketch actually included those like specific flower things, and I ended up ditching them because I didn't really like the color of it. And I'm really glad I did, because I just put flowers straight in the ground there, and I thought it turned out really well. I also use this fence, which I kind of rarely use. Maybe I don't, maybe I do. I never know. Sometimes there are things I'm like, oh, I never use this, and I actually use it quite a lot. But I didn't want to add fences in it because it looked too close off. So I just kind of let it be, and kind of left it open. But here is where I got one of the best ideas ever. Well, not really, but I thought it was really creative. I took one of the rose bushes, and I end up sizing it up to make it look like a tree, and I thought that was just, there it is. I thought that was just so cute. Like, it looks like a little like crab apple tree or something. I actually thought of calling this the Granny apple cottage, but those Granny Smith apples tend to be green, and so it didn't quite fit. So I just went with Strawberry Cottage, which was actually its original name before I put in those flowers. So I kind of like went away from it and then came back. But here I do really like what I did with the flowers there. I thought that was a lot cuter than the flower boxes. But yeah, I've like winded myself. Oh, also, those things look so cute with the extra crisscross. I'm sure other people have done that before, but it's the first time I've noticed it. And it actually, like, from certain angles when you move, it like clips a lot, and kind of looks weird. But from the angles I had it in the screenshots, it looked fine, so I went with it. Usually I try and not have things clip too much. But yeah, I tried the technique like of landscaping where you put the dirt down first, if that makes sense. You use the shading to kind of outline where you want landscaping, and it's interesting because I've seen people do it, and I'm really like envious because for some reason it looks like a really smart way to do it, and it turns out really nice, but it's just kind of like contrary for me almost. Like, it's a little difficult, but I tried doing it again, and I think it worked out okay. But I actually then wanted more water elements, but I didn't want to add like a pool. And so I ended up adding like little, like almost like streams, but not really. Sim Lissy did an Easter build a while back. And so that kind of, and those had streams in it. So that kind of inspired me a bit. But yeah, so it was really cute. Also, I ended up adding in this little well. You'll see it later. It's about where that big sort of woohoo bush is. And it suddenly sparked this whole like stream of memories from when I was a kid. So it just kind of reminded me of Dutch Wonderland, which is a Pennsylvania Dutch theme park in Pennsylvania. And I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I am mostly Pennsylvania Dutch, which is basically German settlers in Pennsylvania. So I'm not Dutch. I'm mostly like German by ancestry. And so I don't know like hardly any Pennsylvania Dutch. I honestly, the most Pennsylvania Dutch I get is when I eat a whoopie pie, and that's about it. But yeah, so I went to this park and I just had the funniest memory of, we went with a lot of my cousins and, my mom's parents, like my uncles, there's the little thing, and my aunts, and so we needed 3 cars to transport all of us. And so we're driving along the highway, and all of a sudden, the car in front of us pulls over. In the little caravan, I said that weird, caravan that we had, it pulls over, and we all pull over on the side of the highway, and my grandfather comes running out, and he's like, "We forgot Roy," who's my brother, and we totally just forgot him at my grandparents' place. Like, we had already started driving, honestly, for about like a half hour, 45 minutes before we realized that we forgot him. And like, this is before cell phones were popular. I don't think any of us had a cell phone at that time, so he was just not there. And so we came all the way back home, and he's just sitting on the couch playing his Game Boy, and my mom asked him, "Weren't you scared?" And he just, like, as chill as possible was like, "I thought you'd come back for me eventually." And I just, like, if that were me, I would have been bawling. But anyways, we are coming up on the end of this build. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to give me a like, a comment, and subscribe, especially if you're interested in being notified as to when my next video is. But yeah, I hope you guys are all having a great day, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!